Looking back, I'm like, I should not have been watching this at the age of 10 years old.
We don't have presidents like this anymore.
We've never had presidents like this.
Touche.
Die Hard kicked off this genre of movies.
Do our presidents actually care about us?
Welcome back to another episode of Real Chums, where chatting about movies feels like hanging out with friends. I'm your host, Marcel, and with me as always is my co-host, Danny.
This week we're discussing Air Force One, directed by Wolfgang Peterson and starring Harrison Ford, Gary Oldman, Glenn Close, and William Macy.
In this episode, we'll discuss Harrison Ford's performance as President James Marshall, the film's presentation of American ideologies, and how Air Force One fits into the landscape of 90s action movies. But before we roll the intro, make sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode.
And don't forget to follow us on YouTube at Real Chums and all other socials to join in on that conversation.
With that said,
Let's roll that intro.
All right, question of the day, Danny. Who is your favorite president in cinema?
Oh, that's a great question, my guy.
So you have obviously Harrison Ford here in Air Force One, Morgan Freeman in Deep Impact,
And in wasn't he also in like White House Down or something like that?
oh, was he the president in those? I haven't seen those movies.
Oh, in one of them, there's the one with Gerard Butler, and then there's the one with something else that I can't remember what it is.
White House Down. No, Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Foxx.
Okay.
That's like a what too. And then there's also
There's
instead like we're specifically kind of about movies, not TV shows.
yeah, movies. Bill Pullman in Independence Day.
Oh, I might have to say Bill Pullman, bro. Man, this is a tough question. Do you have a winner?
I think it's Bill Pullman for me.
I might be torn. I'm on Morgan Freeman or Bill Pullman. Both those are pretty good. I mean, I don't know. Harrison Ford in this one too. I think we didn't get enough of him in president mode.
Oh wait, dude, what about Michael Douglas in The American President?
Okay. Yeah. Oh man.
But you're right. Morgan Freeman was also in Olympus Has Fallen.
Oh, that's the one I'm thinking of.
Is Olympus Has Fallen part of the same cinematic universe as White House Down?
No, they're different.
But it's the same premise.
So basically, literally, we need to do it. They're sort of like ridiculous. I don't know what the story is. I'm sure there is. Essentially, because White House Down has Channing Tatum and Jamie Foxx, but Olympus Has Fallen has Morgan Freeman and then Gerard Butler. No.
Olympus Has Fallen has Gerard Butler.
Yeah.
Morgan Freeman.
And then there's like because Olympus Has Fallen. Is it the third? Is that the third one or is it the first one?
The Olympus Has Fallen, I think it's the first one. Oh, also Mars Attack. You have Jack Nicholson is the president in that. I forgot.
I don't know if I have one.
Also, I'm gonna go with Bill Pullman for mine. You know what? In Independence Day, he's great in that movie.
I'll back you on that.
And then he gives his iconic speech at the end. He does, and whereas before they get on the fighters.
Yeah,
man.
dude, you're right. It's super solid. He's a great. The Pullman, man. The whole's fantastic. Check out our episode on Sleepless in Seattle versus While You Were Sleeping in season 1. I think it might be episode like 6.
Yeah, it's like one of the first 10 episodes. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Be sure to check that out. It's a really good work.
I love Bill Pullman. He's great.
He's in both those movies. So I'm going to be terrible with actors' names, but be so good at memorizing all our numbers for our show.
That's right, because in Sleepless in Seattle, he gets shafted at the end, right?
He does.
Perfect.
Poor Bill Pullman.
I would have picked Bill. Over Tom Hanks. I don't know.
He got sacked, but then he becomes president and saves with Will Smith for Independence Day, baby.
Saves the world.
Saves the world. Oh, we should do Independence Day this year.
I think it's coming up on its. Oh no, I think we just missed its 30th anniversary. When did it come out? Oh, let me see. Oh yeah, 96. We'll do it next year
We'll do next. Okay. Damn man.
for its 30th.
30th anniversary. It's wild. I was a lot. I was so good. It's so fantastic. But I'm excited to talk about Air Force One today. It has been a hot minute since I've seen this film.
It has been a while for me. Look, we're watching this because Harrison Ford is coming back as president of the United States in Captain America: Brave New World, out this weekend. And so we decided to look at his first outing as president in Air Force One.
Right. So this 1997 film, after a daring military operation captures a ruthless extremist nationalist general, the President of the United States, James Marshall, delivers a bold speech vowing not to negotiate with terrorists. But when a group of Russian extremists hijacked Air Force One mid-flight, Marshall must fight to protect his family and take back his plane, proving that he means every word of his policy.
Tell me, what was your first time watching this? What's your relation?
This is one of those movies where I'm pretty sure that it was after I started because I was late to the party on Indiana Jones. My parents so late. After watching the Indiana Jones shows, I wanted to watch more, and I watched this one. Got it rented.
Yeah.
And then it would be on TV, so I've been watching it there. And it's just, I think
Was Star Wars your first Harrison Ford movie?
yes, like I said, I think my mom missed the window to be like loving Harrison Ford. And so she like I don't know if my mom's ever watched Star Wars, but in any case, because I'm sure she watched Star Wars and she would be like, oh, Harrison Ford. Yeah. I'm sorry, Mom. At the end of the day, this is one of those ones that just like, rewatching this, I just was like, my 90s action films are some special level.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like they're like a golden era of. We'll talk. All right, no, I'm gonna just. Can we start there? No, you tell me your relationship, and then we'll talk about.
Sure. This was one of my first rated R movies. I saw this when this came out within the year. So I was like, what, 97? Maybe I'm like, no, my current so my dad had me watch this. I forgot how violent this movie is. And looking back, looking back, I'm like, I should not have been watching this at the age of 10 years old. But I love it. Like, I had a good time. I watched this a lot growing up. And I haven't seen it probably in like 20 years, man. Yeah. Love it. I think it's one of those, like you said, just one of those iconic action movies. Yeah. And as an adult now, or maybe not so much as an adult. Yes, as an adult, but like post 9/11, post everything.
Yeah.
I look at this movie, I'm just like, I have a lot of thoughts, and I'm gonna flesh them out. Yeah. So let's see how I actually feel about this movie now. Okay, because I have a lot of feelings.
Okay, well, I want to talk real bit about cinematography and just the overall the approach to filming this to this era of films, and I think this is a really great example to talk about that.
Yeah.
Are you cool with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me ask you just a couple of questions. When you think of the cinematography and the overall capture, the shots that are in this film, what are the things that stand out to you? Just as a non you're not you don't know the whole breakdown. Like if I asked you to go set up a shot,
You laugh, and it's very justified. We'll get you to what you were.
There's a lot of close-ups.
Okay.
In this movie, and it's obviously very intentional. At least the feeling that I have because it's a very small set.
Yeah.
We're really only in 3 main rooms in this movie.
Yeah.
And intentionally, you have this at least for me, this constant feeling of almost being claustrophobic in here. And there's a lot of use of close-ups. And I really liked it. I think that stood out a lot to me this time watching it because I was just constantly, it adds to the suspense and the tension that's already in the script.
Yeah. Anything else?
No, that's maybe instead of thing.
Listen, I love that this one said. Okay, I'm gonna circle back to your comments on push-ups. The two things that I'm just like reminded about, and we get this sometimes, but I'm reminded in lighting. They because of the era, like low light ability. There's a post recently, and I think I've been ruminating about this because someone that I follow on socials share a post that like they don't like movies the same, and it was like a picture of the Spider-Man.
Yeah.
As the 2000 seven was that right with the Spider is Doc Ock the what was Doc Ock
Oh, yeah. So Spider-Man, yeah, 4 or 5.
four five and Spider-Man the
No Way Home.
No Way Home. Okay, the two shots are up there. If I can find it, I'll throw it in here. But and it was like very crisp. You could fully see, and then how dark and like it just you can't like you can see what it is, but it's so it feels almost like you're not that you're just like this is my BCG, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And I know I mean, maybe they recorded some of it in the volume or whatever, or in like a blue screen, and then they did whatever. But there's this level of, and this film does this as well, right? The lighting is very strong. The contrast is there, but every face is so crisp,
Yes.
so clean. You're not shooting, like a Zack Snyder shooting at like an f1.8. Like they were sitting there at like an f6, maybe an a 5 or maybe whatever, and you have such they still adding depth at different shots, right? Because they are close up. There's depth in the scenes, so they can get those, but the lighting in even in the scenario where there is light, it is just it's like they are using a very strong light and capturing it there, and it's just I think there's like I kind of miss just adding a little bit extra light. Like don't get me wrong, I get the fact that we can shoot in lower light or in like darker time and like be able to add a more natural level. I just think sometimes in some of the current movies that we're getting, it's like almost they're like almost taking like they're not and the lighting philosophies have changed and adapted and because of the technology, but I think I just miss the ability to fully feel someone on screen and be able to like know exactly. And I think Clue, we watched Clue last week. I think had a similar like I mean not necessarily you can see it from the difference from Clue to Air Force One.
Yeah.
That like the lighting got more sophisticated. It's stronger. It provides a more natural, but also like more pleasing image. Like we're watching it, finishing up here, in the studio, and she's like, "Ah, it looks so good." But to go to the cinematography, I think I love the fact that we are just with people.
Yeah.
Because this is a story it's about people, and we're like right up on them, and we're getting the tension. We're seeing the focus of like the intensity of their eyes, not just like the intensity of the music and the scenario or whatever. Who plays the what's the Russian with the zealot?
Gary Oldman?
Gary Oldman, dude. Old right?
Yeah.
Slays. Yeah, his performance is really phenomenal. But every single time he's on screen and he's depicting, see that one felt super lit, but it's lit just like in the area that he's in, and you just feel you see him move in the room and kind of master that.
It's lit perfectly to center him.
Yes,
Right. And I love that you brought that up about the lighting because the movie it does take place inside an airplane, right? You really have to be very cautious on how you're going to light it, especially like how you're saying. It's very much a movie about individuals and characters, right? And we're going to have these close-ups where we want to make sure we get especially someone like a Gary Oldman who can deliver on any line, right? Make sure that we get the reaction, the expressions properly. And so whatever that lighting is and how you set it up, it has to benefit not necessarily the set design, but it has to support what the actor is doing in this environment.
Yeah.
In a cinematographer for this was Michael Ballhaus.
Yeah.
And he did Legend of Bagger Vance, Gangs of New York, The Departed, which are very much like The Departed, right?
I mean, like, part super stylized,
Super stylized out, and then you have those moments that with the big, massive, like close-ups,
yes.
right? And I'm thinking a lot of like how that one was lighted and so well. So I mean, just I love that you brought that up about light.
We have so much more technology, and cameras are that can be, you know, if you're shooting on digital. You know, I'm not talking about, I'm not talking about you, Christopher Nolan, but you know, those crew members are shooting. They're still shooting on bigger cameras, but they're way more compact, still a little bit more nimble. That, you know, getting the handheld and getting in there, and they still show a little bit of that here, but like they're definitely still on like a set of sticks of some kind of, it's still follower movements. It's just a firm reminder just how, you know, if you have a good story, you know, you have a good cast, you don't need much to tell a fantastic story. And I think that's just, again, just a reminder. Because don't get me wrong, I freaking, you know, I love a good John Wick.
Yeah.
I love, you know, the top runs up with Wolf's very mobile, highly in that perspective. You know, you got huge either dolly or tracking shots that are just so beautiful, and that are interesting. But you're not like there's a lot of stuff happening. You have a lot of different areas, and so I just think, like, I don't know. There's something to be said about films like this that like stick it. You know, that you're focusing on characters. I think Run Rich does this as well.
Yeah.
You know, like that if you're gonna follow a really tight story in a setup, I can, you know, holding on characters, focusing on their emotion, having nice walking on very specific scenes, just goes a long way.
It does.
Okay, my rant, my soapbox out here is over.
I love it. Let's start off with the characters. You brought up Gary Oldman, dude, right? He is incredible in this movie. Absolutely. But I want to talk a little bit about like his performance and how he really does like elevate the stakes of the film.
Yeah.
Because here's an issue I had with this movie.
Yes.
And again, this is just me, like, cynical millennial. I'm watching Harrison Ford do this stuff, and I'm like, there's no way, like, a president of the United States is gonna do a quarter of all of this.
So wait, you see those YouTube videos of you know, the channel that's like how it should have ended?
Oh yeah.
I feel like if it was reality, yeah, we're holding the plane. Okay. Like we don't have presidents like this anymore.
We've never had presidents like this.
Touche.
Like hell. I would love a post-credit scene of like the whole, like, the world just reacting, the ramifications of knowing that a president just put someone on a chokehold. Oh, the guy. Like,
I mean, right?
this guy is not winning his second election. Like, he's not.
You know, I mean, no. So the next day, it's not even about president saved, or president first family saved. President murders Ford.
Just behind terror. Yeah. Like, yeah. But there's something that Gary Oldman brings to the character of Ivan, right? There's this sincerity, there's this pain, an anger to this character that every time that he is on screen, whether he's with Harrison Ford or not, it creates a tension and it builds that suspense that I need, because this movie is so far-fetched that Gary Oldman, for me, grounds this movie.
Man, you know, I think I appreciate you saying that. I back you. It's so true. You know, I was thinking of Gary Oldman in what he does. All his
Yeah.
I think he's an actor that that brings a certain level of like deepness to his characters. And I think this film is a wonderful showcase. Um, like he's not tyrannical. He's not like um insect. He's just a man who's driven with purpose, who he like what he understand like because of this regime and like his like core beliefs that this is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And we're and like he's got a clear plan. He's gonna execute on the plan. He's not mincing words.
No. And I love that the script takes time to flesh that out, right?
Yes.
By him giving a timeline of like you're gonna release what's I can't remember the detail.
Yep.
You're gonna release him, and if you don't, every 30 minutes, I'm taking someone out, and he follows through with that.
Yeah.
And that is so crucial in a movie like this, where your protagonist, the president, speaks Russian.
Yeah.
He is the like perfect human. He's a perfect father, the perfect husband, the perfect president.
Yeah.
Like he handles the guns really well. Like it is too unbelievable. Where Ivan, played by Gary Oldman, makes, like I said, grounds this performance and grounds the storyline, because he does bring this honesty to this character.
Yep.
And I think that is so crucial. I mean, this is Gary Oldman, like in his villain prime, right? He had been Dracula before this, The Fifth Element, right? So like this is just prime evil Gary Oldman, and it is so perfectly executed on his part. Like if I like, he steals the show for me in this movie.
Man, I love Gary. I mean, he's in one of my favorite series that's like speed up. Like I would love to do. We've talked about that a little bit. Like we'd love to do a series on like just spying, or maybe an episode on a video on YouTube. Like we are in some great spy genre, depending on era, because he's in Slow Horses, and he is just one of the most disgusting and like chess piecey spy that could ever be, and he just rips it like none other in that series. And I think that like it just goes to like seeing him in a younger role in this villain era just gives me just more appreciation for the man, because I think his monologue when he first calls the vice president, she's like, "What is it you want?" And he gets this wonderful like they paint the picture. This is not just him, right? This comes down to Andrew Marlowe, the writer. He has a writer for this, who I think does a phenomenal job. He write this the line, and he's like, at that point, you'll know what I want, right? When I had done X, Y, Z, and this person's been released, and all these things, you will know what I want. Like he depicts this picture and doesn't tell him exactly what he wants, even though he tells him what he wants.
Yeah.
And I think that's just beautiful. That's beautiful cinema right there.
He's the showrunner for The Equalizer, the TV show.
I had not watched the show.
But you love the movie.
I love the movies. I have a little bit of, not that Queen Latifah can't do what The Equalizer does, but I think I watched the first like a half of the pilot, and I was like, this is too watered down for a bottom. But I've heard some huge people loving it. Good people like it. Yeah, people are loving it. So I need to give it. I'm going to put my Denzel Washington style vibes like on the side and just give it a love.
Sure, that's what it is. You're right. Female biases.
But yeah, it's great. And like transitioning over to Harrison Ford, like I will say this is I feel like this is like one of the last movies where he looks like he's having fun. Because everything since, like, he's just the grumpy guy that just, like, he owns who he is now, and he's just grumpy and over things. He shows up on set, does whatever, but like, this feels like he's having fun. And it's one of the last times where I'm like, yeah, dude, this is why you were like an icon. You are an
He is an icon. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
And I think what okay. Uh do you feel like so you were one second. Is that man, I don't you're right. I had the same thought. I felt like Harrison Ford, he just he he just was loving making the film.
Yeah.
And I think there's this the level of the action was fun. He's a person like you said. He's so Harrison Ford at this age as a president with a wonderful family. Like this real no this is not reality, and it's like it sucks because like you want it to be reality. You want to have I would love to have reality where like I can look at my dang, that could be like me in a couple of years. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I'm trying to go for president. I'm just saying, like, I look at the presidents now and I'm like, that'll never happen. Like, I have to be 80 to be president? Nah, I'm goof.
No,
Hard pass.
but no, I think the physicality that he has here, even at this age, for Harrison Ford, it's just you play well to what he can do, right? And that's him, very much like Indiana Jones, like running towards someone and bumping them and pushing off the enemy, and it's just a great use of leveraging that type of actor for a role like this. He's great, he's fun, but he's a little bit like too perfect for me.
This is what I think the other part of this. He does not have, we don't get enough love with Harrison Ford in like scenes. And I think this is the beginning of the era of where Ford begins to get these parts that like he's only idol like he's like it's like let's bring him in because XYZ, right? Whereas like I see him in Shrimp King,
Yeah.
and I see him lighting up in line and finding like being able to like truly deliver things, in a serious tone, in a funny
Yes.
moment, in a casual feel, right? In a casual passive sort of a slight, right? Whereas and even in Indiana Jones, we look at Indiana Jones, we get wonderful like moments that are not only the action portion, but he's also delivering heartfelt scenes that are like that really want you that makes you fall in love in with Idiot. And yet he has like maybe 15 lines
In this here.
in this. He's not a ton of lines.
You're right. He doesn't have a lot, but
He's
I mean, he has this big monologue at the beginning, right? At dinner.
yeah, he has a monologue, but and then he's got a moment with his wife and his daughter, okay, and then he's got the shouts of it's more than 15 lines, but like he's not like literally. Most of what he's doing is actions, and so like and the people who are who are impactful are dealing with things. They're the ones that have more of the like intrigue, like the the Secretary of Defense, Paul. I can never pronounce the name.
Guilfoyle.
Guilfoyle. He's just he's trying to make his carve his path, get ownership and be able to lead.
Oh no! The Secretary of Defense is Dean Stockwell.
Oh, that's right.
So Paul is the chief of staff. Yes.
Sorry. Dean Stockwell. Dean Stockwell's performance. Oh, great. And even with Glenn Close as vice president, right? They get more interaction and like there, and I get it because like he's supposed to be the hero. But I would have loved just an extra little moment with one other character.
Yeah, and I mean, like, all the interactions that he does have with his staff and family, the writing is set up to
On the president.
yeah, to make him make him seem like he's this incredible human being, right?
Yeah.
Like even that drive back from the dinner, and his head is NSA advisor. Yeah, I was like, no, you shouldn't you shouldn't have. Probably was like, no, like what's policy?
Yeah.
And then when he's getting onto Air Force, like everyone is just like validating how awesome he is. And I think like an interaction of maybe, and we see a little bit when he's there with Grace with the wife, how he's kind of like doubting a little bit. But I think we needed to show some flaws in this man.
I think I would have loved a real moment with him and his daughter. You know, she expresses that she's trying to grow up.
Yeah.
And she wants to be involved in like there, and he shares it like, why can't you just be 12 for longer, right? And and then the fact that she's seen killing, she's seen some people shot, like having her address, Dad, how did you do it? And right, like, how did you do this? What helped you? And having just like a small moment of being able to like connect with that daughter to showcase that like he is human.
Yeah.
And that he's trying, that he has to take it in a stride, right? Or whatever. That would have like totally just given us a little bit extra of like you said, humanize him a little bit instead of just being like super present. And
This is like the most U.S. propaganda movie.
you're not wrong.
Like, it's just so. I mean, it is what it is. 97, so it is what it is. But it's just funny seeing it now.
Do you feel that part of the reason, like this isn't like a classic for Ford? Like when you think of Harrison Ford, you're not Thor. I'm not saying that some people aren't, but I would put Clear and Present Danger or Hunt for which one?
Decent, clear, present
Yeah,
danger.
yeah.
Some Patriot games.
So like the Tom Clancy,
Jack Ryan.
the Jack Ryan films that he plays, I feel like end up overtaking him in this one, or possibly overshadowing. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just a franchise of it being a Jack Ryan, him playing Jack Ryan, right? That alone, I think, just elevates those roles more than him being in this. I mean, I think it's interesting because this movie came out in 97, right? And this was like one of I think this movie was the 5th top grossing film of the year. Oh, yeah. Now, the biggest movie of the year for 30 weeks straight was Titanic, right? So this came out like a few weeks-ish before Titanic. You have Titanic come, and then Titanic just owned the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Right? And so I think maybe that might have, I mean, it did great. Again, it was the 5th highest grossing film of the year. But I think when you're going up against
DiCaprio and, like
James Cameron, yeah, like it just, that movie just took over, right?
Yeah.
It's funny because the role was actually offered to Kevin Costner.
Oh, interesting. I forgot about this.
It was offered to Kevin Costner. He turned it down to do The Postman. Okay? Oh, this was the biggest, the worst decision of his career. He turns down this role. He decides to do The Postman. The Postman comes out a week before Titanic, and Postman just failed. Just so hard flop. It sunk. It flopped.
Was that his debut director role?
No, because he had done Dances with Wolves was his first one.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah. I mean, everyone was just like, "What is this Postman compared to Titanic?" Right? So people did not like it.
I feel like this year I feel like we're gonna have something like that. A lot like that. It's gonna compete hard this summer. We've talked about this already, but like this summer is gonna be gnarly.
Yeah.
Anyways,
but yeah,
Costner, honestly, he would have played this. I think they would have played it differently. Obviously.
Yeah.
But what I mean by that is I think that Kevin has the way he Ford feels like an average man. Like he feels like like you could see him, but he's doing things that like are super, like not super, like super heroic. That he's the ultimate American. And I think Costner, I think he doesn't bring that in. He's so good, like because of uh, he doesn't have that same ruggedness that Harrison Ford has, right? That I think definitely like doesn't give him that like war vet sort of vibe. Sure, in the aspect, even though all the action stuff he still could have done, still would played out like all it would have played out pretty good, yeah. And I don't know, maybe not necessarily it's gonna be, um, I think when you're competing with Titanic was going like everybody,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I think worse.
I want to talk about Gibbs just real quick.
Yeah, of course.
What was his motivations?
I don't know. This is one of probably my big gripes because I love Gibbs as a villain.
I think going back to like these close-ups,
Yeah.
Gibbs steals
Every time.
every time.
I love the fact that you hate him from the get go. He literally takes out the Secret Service people. He's the head of, he and then opens it out and preps gives the clear for Oldman and the rest of the crew, and then he like disappears.
Yeah, and he just blends into like one of the hostages, right?
Is he doing it for money? Is he doing it because
He believes in the cause.
or because he doesn't like
Marshall?
what?
Yeah, like I think that's just watching it this time. I was like, wait, so why Gibbs? Like, or is this gonna be explained? And I'm waiting for that kind of like explanation. I'm like, no, it's never given.
No.
But again, the use of camera with him, it's so great because he just always looks suspicious.
Always. He knows he's got that. He's got that on down.
Yeah, no, and again, in this kind of a movie where your protagonist is perfect, I love that use to create suspension, right? Suspense, and for the camera to just linger on him for an extra second or two as he just looks away, looks in the distance, looks like he's, oh shoot, what am I gonna do? Like, it's great. But I would have loved some kind of a backstory. I was reading that I think they had come up with like a plot line for him. They had tossed two ideas, like he was a sleeper agent for the USSR, and had just been doing his thing until he got called in. And then I can't remember the other one. I think the other one he was just planted. He had been working with those Russians before for other jobs, and then he got put in here. And, but no, I would have liked some kind of extraction in there. Especially because it's such a big. I mean, it's the inciting incident.
That's the thing that I think I struggle with the most. Is like it triggers an inciting incident that then leaves it. Then Oldman takes over, and I'm not complaining about Oldman. No, but I would have loved like to have Oldman have another moment. Like he shows up to kill some person, and then he like decides not to, but then Gibbs shoots. Yeah, right, and to say like, yeah, it was you, and everyone just like, it shatters, and because like even towards the end where he like the final reveal that he is like the person that triggered all of this, or like twisted double agent or whatever. Oh no, we don't even know he's like, yes, he's just a traitor.
Yeah, I feel like that last part, it was they were writing the movie and then they realized, oh shoot, Gibbs is still here. Oh, Ricky, the guy's still alive. Found that anything, but
They got so caught up
with they got it so caught up with Oldman and with Gibbs staring in the camera that they're like, oh wait, he's still alive, but he didn't think this through. Like it just felt so
100%.
like the 100% just put it in there, interject it in there. But yeah,
It's man, it's
I was gonna. You brought up action 90s.
yes.
Sam, this movie is very much like not a parody, but like it's inspired by the Die Hards, right?
Yes.
Die Hard kicked off this genre of movies:
Yes.
Speed, Air Force One, Passenger 57,
Yo.
to name a few. Why did we as audiences love this? What is it about the Die Hard format of movies that, as an action movie, that we just absolutely love? And that they were very successful, honestly.
Yes. I think there's the man versus like a nature aspect of this, right? You've got the double whammy of conflicts, right? There's an act, there's a driven, a human aspect of that's been triggered, but there's a ticking, there's a something that's being you're racing against,
Yes.
right? And that just elevates it. And I think that because even if we have Agent Gibbs over here just staring at the camera nefariously and we don't even get it, it's like at the end of the day
We feel the threat.
we feel the threat. We're like, when is it gonna happen? He's not doing anything, and the plane's gonna crash down. He's still on the plane with the president, right? Is he? All these every little aspect gets amplified because of the next thing that's being triggered of like, oh, we lost another, or we have to take open plate.
Yeah.
Okay, we've been captured. How am I gonna get out of this? Right? There's the constant switching between man versus nature, or scenario. I don't know what you want to call it.
Yeah.
Those things I can just amplify that story so much that we fall in love with,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's when you can have a story that is simple but so captivating, and you can't help but love it.
Yeah. I love that. But I think that's what makes this genre, so to speak, so successful. It's the man against all odds, right?
Man, it's odds.
And it's the individual that's also didn't choose to be in that situation, right? We saw that with Die Hard, and Speed. Here, like it's just you are stuck in this position. You didn't choose to be in it, and like all odds are against you. How do you survive?
Right.
And I think that's what makes these fun movies. But I mean, how does this stack up against those? Which one's better? There?
Of course. I think so.
There is better.
Right?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I think
Yeah, because what's his face is a flawed character.
from the get-go, this is not a movie about President Marshall.
This is about
This is about American ideology,
yes.
right? Harrison Ford is just the engine that's helping to drive this forward, and it sucks. Not Harrison Ford. It just sucks that we don't get more of Harrison Ford in as like he's a president who has done amazing things,
Yeah.
but he is battling a country in a situation that feels tense and political. And how am I gonna help the nation, right? And then and a hijacking happens. His family's on board. He's gonna do everything in his power to help make sure his family's safe. Screw the country if it eats so, right? That would have been a better premise, right? If I have to sacrifice whatever else, I'm gonna go for there. And even though that they're like, I'm gonna, the family's gonna go, it just still feels like he's like too high. The bar was like way too high. I just wanted a little bit more, like a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Well, I mean, am I wrong? What is it? What are your thoughts? Where could they?
Yeah, no, I mean, you bring up a good point about this isn't about President Marshall. This is a movie about American ideology, right? And how do we maximize these ideologies in an action setting,
Yeah,
right? What's the line? And he says like, you know, it's the right thing to do, so I'm gonna do it, right?
Yeah.
Um, he puts others before his own needs,
Yes.
right? And so like, we won't negotiate with terrorists at all. Like if I fulfill these demands, what's that gonna do with everything, right? So it's these ideologies that the issue is just the character, but maybe that is just how they approach this movie. Like we're not focusing on the character, we're idolizing these ideologies.
Yep. And then let's be real here. Like these ideologies have solidified in America in a lot of sense. Not necessarily the heroicness, but like we're not gonna negotiate with terrorists.
Yeah.
The the president's always gonna do he's trying to put America first, right? And that's not that the idea of like, because at the end we need to get you off the plane. No, like I'm America, let the people go.
People go.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a symbolism of this ideology of like, no, the people should come first. And like argue in some case like that idea has it come? Is that where the presidency has come? And I'm not saying anything about Trump. I'm saying in the last decade, what a president means to America has shifted drastically.
How does this patriotic tone or this American ideologies, this tone affect your viewing now? Does it enhance? Does it detract your enjoyment for this movie?
Ooh, it's a good question.
And I think these are the things that I mentioned earlier and more at the beginning of the episode. Like, I should not be having late nights thinking about this over a 1997 action movie.
But what are your thoughts? Like, I'm trying to think. But like, you've been Mooney in the family.
I have. I mean, obviously, look at the time when this came out. This is pre 9/11 war, right? They mentioned
Cold War.
Yeah, this is like that prime time where we were making movies of like, look, we're all chums with Russia and like we get along and support each other, and then boom, it happened a few years later. But then like it's just I miss this. I miss these ideologies. I don't like because of what's happened, who's in and out of office and whatnot. Like I look at this movie and I just feel almost deflated of like,
do our presidents actually care about us? I think that's when I watch this film, I'm like, man, he cares about the people. He cares about the country. He's like, now, we were giving our picks like we wish we had more from the character, but the ideologies, that's there,
the ideologies, yes,
right? And when if I was gonna ruin it, and you're asking the question, I think there's a reason why we have White House down and the president's being saved. We have freaking Channing Tatum saving Jamie Foxx. Okay. You know what I mean? Like that is where we're at. We're at this idea. Like the president is just a person who sits in the seat. Are they the people who are they the people who are actually driving things? In a world where it's the ideologies is what rules, and we have to be careful. Are we sitting with someone who is like Ivan Korshaw, right?
Yeah.
Who is driven on an ideal that he has been not indoctrinated, but like this unrealistic and a much scarier world.
Yes, and the movie touched slightly on this, right? There's a scene where Ivan confronts the daughter.
Yeah.
And he says, "You don't think your dad has killed? Like, you don't think he's hurt others? Of course he has.
He does it from behind the seat of a chair. Or yeah, vest or whatever.
By approving a missile strike or whatever, right? So like, the movie tries to go there,
Yeah.
but again, because this is 1997, like, it doesn't fully commit to that. And I would have loved an exploration of that. Maybe not Ivan with a 12-year-old and they're exploring these ideas, but I think a stronger confrontation with Ivan, and whether that's with President Marshall or whoever, I would have loved to have seen more of that. And I think, again, now looking back at this movie, that's what I'm craving. That's what I'm left wanting more of this clash of ideologies and a lot of decisions of morals and whatnot. And yeah, because I mean, and also the movie just ends so abruptly. Like, it just,
Well, so here's the thing. Okay, you're not wrong. Like 100%. This okay. So we have inciting incident is by Gibbs,
yeah,
who starts this whole spiel, right? What is he doing it because
money,
whatever? We don't know about it, right? Then we have Ivan and his crew take over. The whole that he takes over, he's negotiating with VP. He thinks that the president's not there, that he's gonna like he has the leverage, that they're gonna make it, like they're succeeding. Literally, they are defeated. At like almost like towards the middle, at the beginning of the third act, and the rest of it is just then trying to like flame the plate.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, okay, the fact that we have that much time, where all it is a man versus nature scenario, right? Right, with circumstance of the plane coming down, crashing. They've had the fight and with the exterior or the whatever Air Force, and they can't. The engines have been damaged. They have to figure their things out, and we don't have anything else that helps to, like, another, like, no, Gibbs coming back. No, I did this for Russia. Yeah, and re-emphasizing that ideology, like, Harrison says the line, "I trusted you with my life." That would have been a fantastic moment.
Yeah.
Like him revealing the super aims, or even like, yeah, your life only paid me 30,000 a year or what? Like, yeah, I did it, for the money. Like, come on, like, it would just help to, I don't know, giving some benefit there. Like, we have these, the ideologies aren't, like you said, they're not that. There's no battle against ideology. Yeah, it's just like it's there. It's kind of set up, but there's no real development. I mean, even when he's with the president.
Yeah. It just lacks there. And I get it. I see what you were trying to do with this movie, and you don't want to commit to have that type of conflict. You want to focus on the physical altercations here, but I would have wanted more now. Looking back at this movie, I'm just like, you really could have, this could have really solidified itself as not only are we having a physical fight, but we're having a clash of ideals, of beliefs, of ideologies, etc.
And it could have been one that says, like, when you think of American movie, Air Force One.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now when you say Independence Day.
No, I'm saying that's, and it's something that, like, even like the Captain America movies, the second and the third one,
Yes.
do a better job at this.
100%.
What does Captain America himself represent and symbolize, and how does that conflict with traditional American values and ideologies, right? And he's constantly fighting those.
Right.
And you balance the actual physical altercations.
I actually really think that, like, this has me excited to see Harrison Ford and in the new Captain America Brave New World, because I actually think that like Harrison Ford will get his opportunity to like we're gonna have and we've seen a little bit in Retriever with Anthony Mackie portraying a specific what he believes should be Captain America, and Harrison Ford saying, are you gonna play ball with me?
Yeah.
Right? And it could be really great. We could get a really great, another sense of clash of ideologies that we get with, Captain America 3,
Yeah.
with Civil War.
Civil War, yeah.
Because I think they do a great job within that. For that.
I hope so. This movie, Brave New World, has been rewritten a handful of times. Yeah. And
I'm not saying it's going to be great.
yeah, we'll see. Favorite scene?
I think that my favorite 2 moments, because I don't know if there's a full scene that I would say like steals the show here.
Yeah.
But I loved Ivan's, like I said, the opening conversation with him and the VP, specifically Ullman's opening with the VP and talking with her on the phone.
Oh yeah.
And then I think probably the final fight with Ford and Ivan, the tussle, like him trying to save his wife and the tussle, and then the iconic play.
Oh, dude, I would give so much money for Harrison Ford to say that in Brave New World. I really would. I just want a good callback to that. It would be a huge missed opportunity if they don't.
They're not going to do it.
I have never clapped in a movie theater. I will if he does that.
You've never clapped?
Oh, I mean, I've clapped like at the end, like when we went to go see. Like,
Pause. Okay.
You're telling me that when
When Captain America came, like, grabbed Thor, I had the biggest smile. I felt this sense of accomplishment, like as if I had held the hammer myself. Did I stand up with the rest of the theater and go, yeah? No, I did not. That was the moment for me to enjoy, and I just felt so accomplished.
So you're telling me that they ruined it for you because they were clapping?
No, they didn't do it for me, but like I just was like, nah, this is it. This is great. And I felt this sense of accomplishment, as if I had done something. But I clearly did not, and just felt so satisfied with that.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I clap.
No, I believe it.
I mean, it was freaking.
That's a great one. Yeah. But I will clap it. I will stand up and clap. And like,
You're just like the only person that's something.
President Marshall, my man! I will do it.
I have to watch it with you now. I hope, and we have to watch it together just for the moment, so that if it happens, that I can capture that off film.
Here's the scene that it would happen. Okay, he's on Air Force One. Captain America is flying towards to catch him or something. He gets inside Air Force One. They have an altercation of ideals, of a girl, and then he walks away, and then he looks back and he says, "Get off my body."
And then he Hulk rages.
Just like that. Just
Okay.
get off that foot. That's all.
Oh man, I still think that him beginning to Hulk rage and like doing the Spartan kick. That might have said the put.
If he Hulk rages inside of the Air Force One, it's just the Air Force One will just like open up and happen. There goes everyone. Yeah, well, that's cool. I mean, why not?
Why not?
Yeah. My favorite scene. I mean, anytime Gary Oldman's on scene is my favorite scene. But I do like of all of his executions. I love the one where the national security advisor is like, "Dude, talk to me. Oh, and I'm the one that can convince them. I'm his advisor regarding all national security. I can help you." And he's like, "Okay, boom," and just takes him out.
Your security advisor, your security guy was a good negotiator. He gave you 30 more minutes. Oh man, what a freaking
God. Yeah, I love that scene. Freaking Terry Oldman. I would another situation where I would give all of my money for. I would love to see Gary Oldman and Harrison Ford on screen one more time.
Oh my gosh, bro.
Hollywood, make that happen.
For real, Hollywood. Make it happen.
Those two on screen one more time, I could just.
Harrison Ford and Gary Oldman. Make it happen, guys. You guys are freaking legends now. No, I'm serious though. You need to watch Slow Horses.
I know. It's there.
Gary Oldman in it is just it's a whole different Gary Oldman.
Yeah.
And he's kind of this is where this isn't perfect. Shrinking to Harrison Ford
Which I love.
is like Harrison Ford he's just held on for the fun. Okay, Gary Oldman in Slow Horses is him not the character doesn't care,
Yeah.
but he is tapped into that energy 10,000%, and he just rakes people a new one. He doesn't care. You're just like, who is this guy? Like, what happened to you, Gary? But he just a vibe, and he crushes it, and he's a legend. Both of them are. I think that
Dude, drinking, I love. I've loved it.
it's phenomenal.
It's great, and I think this is like the first time where I'm watching Harrison Ford again in decades. I mean, like, you do like this, Harrison Ford.
100%. Not only does he like it, we're getting at it for we've never. I feel like we haven't gotten from him at any other time with drinking.
Yeah, I mean, the role does require him to be very vulnerable, but I mean,
Give me one other place that he might be better.
no, The Fugitive.
Sweet Humans and Sin Few. I'll watch it this weekend. I would have played.
Fugitive will always be my favorite Harrison Ford movie.
Is this movie worth rewatch?
Yeah, definitely. I think people who didn't watch this when it came out in the 90s, like, we enjoyed this movie. Like, I think overall, like, we had a good time with it. And it was a time before the BS that we live in, before the strong feelings that we have towards our elected officials. Not that we didn't have them before, but like, it's a lot more voiced now, more accessible, those opinions. And I just think we had a good time with it back then. And if you look past some of the issues that we had, you're going to have a good time. I had a great time.
You're right.
And I think just the fact, like I said, Gary Oldman just grounds and solidifies this movie for me.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it's definitely it's worth a rewatch.
I agree. I think that if you're watching this for the enjoyment, just a solid action film that involves the president, and it's a good time.
Yeah.
I think that our gripes come from we see so much of the benefit of what comes from character-driven stories,
Yes.
and this is not that.
Yeah.
And that's okay. But it doesn't. It like you said, it does have us ruminate on like, where are we at with with politics and with the world. And it does. I don't know. It triggers thoughts that I think that what is it? Where are we gotten to?
Yeah.
And I don't know what the answer is. All I know is that Gary Oldman should get off my player. But fantastic. Great. I so hope that we go to the movies and you get that light and I just get to be the only person up there. Yeah, President Marshall.
How we love that line. And
Oh man, it'd be so freaking so great. Smash that like button if you also would love to see that live in Brave New World, or if you saw it and you're like, it's there. We hope you enjoyed today's episode discussing Air Force One. Don't forget to subscribe on whatever platform we the podcast. If you like this episode, please leave us a review. It does help us get discovered. Or more importantly, just smash that subscribe button. We do a lot of great stuff here on YouTube, or even on the follow button on Spotify. A lot of good stuff.
we want to hear from you. What do you think of Air Force One? What was it like watching it the first time? What's it like watching it now? What did we miss? You can always connect with us on any of our socials at RealChums. Or you can email us at realchums.com. You can find me on Instagram and Threads at Marstrosity, MARZTROSITY.
And me at Rubio.tv. Editor Rubio here, and we just wanted to let you know that next week's episode, which will be on time, is going to be the 2014 Denzel Washington movie, The Equalizer. So go watch it, and we'll see you guys next Sunday.